I've no idea how you pronounce Dichroic. I think it's Dichroic, it might be Dichroic. But this one is the first time I've ever used this particular method. Hiya, welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy here from Toonpish Crafts and I hope you're doing okay. Now you may have seen recently I made a dragon druzy piece from Jadey'sart moulds. Well, I also purchased at the time a teddy bear mould, which is that one, and a couple of Christmas moulds. So this time I'm going to try the teddy bear mould. I think it's so adorable, this. Let's see how I get on with this one. I have plans. So I'm going to show you 3 different makes with this. This is the first one. It's the simplest version of this mould. I do love these moulds. And using the little 10ml bottles really helps guide the resin where you want it to be. I am being very careful not to scrape the bottom of the mould. I'm literally just hovering above the bottom so that the nib does not scratch the mould itself. But these little bottles are so handy. And having a black outline on this bear is something that I think will just stand out beautifully. Don't forget, everything I use in this video will be linked in the description box below. And if it's not a link in the description box, it might be in my Amazon storefront. And there's also toonpish.com where all my discount codes are in the same place. I do speed up a lot of my videos for ease of viewing. Sometimes these things take a long time and I don't want you to have to sit through the whole lot. This is Rose Red by Let's Resin. It's a resin pigment, not an alcohol ink, and I'm just putting 1 tiny drop into some resin to give it a pink shade. I still want it to be translucent. With any kind of druzy, it's always going to be a bubble magnet. So there are several ways that you can limit the amount of bubbles that you get in a druzy. One of them is to pour resin onto the druzy and go over it with a silicone tool. That will dislodge any bubbles that are trapped. If you've got a translucent colour, you can see the bubbles through the translucent resin. And going around the outside is always a good idea as well with any mould. I am using Let's Resin resin here and I have a discount code which is on the screen and there will be a link in the description box below. So I've sprayed it with isopropanol alcohol to get rid of any surface bubbles, and I'm going over with a silicone tool to dislodge any trapped bubbles in the druzy itself. That will bring the bubbles to the surface, and as I've already sprayed it with isopropanol alcohol, the bubbles can disperse. I do prefer isopropanol alcohol over heat or a naked flame. It doesn't damage the moulds and it is easier in my opinion. This piece did not go in my pressure pot, it was just sitting on the side, and 24 hours later it's time to demould. Don't you just love those demoulding noises? I can already see that I'm absolutely loving this. It is stunning. The shine on the surround is gorgeous. The detail of the crystal is gorgeous, and the shape and the style of this little bear is beautiful. This is Sapphire Blue by Let's Resin, another resin pigment, not an alcohol ink, and I'm using it in some Let's Resin resin, popped it in the bottle again, and I'm going to do the outside edge in blue. Now we'll run through these other 2 types of bear that I made quite quickly because you've seen how to make them already, but I want to give you a brief outline of each type. This one I've decided to colour with chameleon pigments. When you put a solid colour on crystal, it doesn't give such a detailed shimmery effect, but it does give a beautiful effect. But as I'm doing the border with a clear resin or translucent resin, it will give a really shiny border to it. I'm using Let's Resin Chameleon pigments in teal. Now teal is a green and I'm not keen on green, as most people are aware, but it's a nice green. And I figured it would go really well with the blue. So I'm just going to go over the entire thing with the chameleon powder. It is a really quick process, to be honest. And I even put it in the little band around the head. What a gorgeous colour. Now with any chameleon powder, it is always best to have a black behind it. That way it pushes the colour out. I know that sounds very peculiar, but that's what it does. And as I can't see through the black, I'm using a banging method to try and dislodge any bubbles. A squirt of isopropyl alcohol and it goes to bed. Now this one did actually go in my pressure pot and I took it out too early, which is why it's bowed at the back. It only went in because I was putting something else in there, and as I was taking the other thing out, I took that one out as well, and I shouldn't have done. I should have left it in there because it bowed. But it can be sanded, it's no big deal. But the bear is stunning. Those colours really go together. I've no idea how you pronounce Dichroic. I think it's Dichroic, it might be Dichroic. But this one is the first time I've ever used this particular method. I'm using Let's Resin silver to go on the outside of this. I've only ever put this silver into resin a couple of times and I really do like the way it comes out. And this is Dichroic film. It's a crinkle version. I got it from eBay and I will link it in the description box below. I got several different colours and I love this stuff. But to put it in, I need to cover the resin mould first, and I'm using some very lightly tinted pink. As the film has a pink tint to it anyway, I could have used just plain, but I decided I wanted to go with a little bit of colour. And then I'm going to submerge the film into the resin and make sure it's completely covered on top as well. Now I don't want bubbles really between the resin and the film, but it doesn't matter, it's a crinkle film. I don't think it's going to show. I've never used this film before and I do think it is gorgeous. I will be doing a lot more with this film in the future, but I thought it would be great to have it behind crystal type effect, the druzy mould. I spray it with isopropyl alcohol and I leave it to cure. Now, for some reason I decided to put white on the back of this one. I could have put black, and I think black probably would have worked better. Like I said with the chameleon powders, black pushes the colour out. But I decided to go with white. I think I just wanted to try it, to be honest. I wanted to see how it came out. After all, if you don't try these things, you just don't know. Another squirt of isopropyl alcohol, and we'll wait to see. So this one was really exciting to demould. And I absolutely love the effect. Look at that gold and flicker through that film. Stunning. I did go on to make another bear which I didn't film, and you will see that in the end piece. But it was just this bear mould. I just couldn't resist doing another one. These little teddy bear moulds are gorgeous. I can't say how gorgeous I think they are because they're adorable. Absolutely adorable. I've put ribbon on those two. I mean, look how sweet they are. And I've made these two into Keyrings and they are both absolutely stunning. And the bobble helps to make it that cute appeal, and so does the tassel, but on their own they are gorgeous. I love them, absolutely love them. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you've got something out of it. Come back and see me next week because you never know what I'm going to be up to. I never know what I'm going to be up to. Have a great week. Happy crafting and bye for now.